Hey, it's Jasmine, your success mindset coach. And today I want to talk to you about one of my favorite topics of all time, which, believe it or not, is dealing with negative emotions, which we all get all the time. Some of us more than others, some of us, whatever. It happens all the time. This is one of my favorite topics because it's something that I feel like is really misinterpreted and can honestly put people in more of a stressful position than they need to be in. And that is because, and this is really probably going to be short and sweet, even though it's my soapbox, I'm going to keep it simple for you guys. You are allowed to have negative emotions, okay? I feel like, if you're somebody who really feels like you are the one who helps people, you're like the rock for people, which is me. That's, my little lot in life that I've assigned to myself is I'm supposed to be strong and I'm supposed to have my stuff together and all of that stuff, right? So it's almost like I've made it so that I'm not allowed to feel like shit. Like, I'm not allowed to feel crappy. I'm not allowed to have a bad day. And if I do, I'm really, really hard on myself. And I'm like, okay, how do I get out of it? How do I get out of it? And another type of person that deals with this a lot is people who are really, really into spirituality. Also, me. I'm way into the woo woo, right? And so for me, and I know a lot of other people who are really into, enlightenment and spirituality and all of that stuff, a lot of times what can happen is we almost feel like we're supposed to always be thinking positive, right? Or always be looking at the bright side and looking at the silver lining in the clouds and all of that stuff. And at the end of the day, I think it's so, so critical to remember it's okay to feel like shit. It's okay to feel like crap. It's okay to not like what you're doing, to whatever. It's okay to have those negative emotions. They are natural. Okay? And the key to dealing with them is to honor them. And that's something that a lot of us just don't do, especially when we're trying so hard to be positive, to be that rock, to be whatever it is that we feel like we have to be, right? But what happens is we put more stress on ourselves because we're trying to push past our negative emotions to suck it up and get through it, or to meditate through it, or whatever it is, find that inner whatever it is. But at the end of the day, you gotta deal with them, and you deal with them by honoring them. Your negative emotions are still a part of you. They are a piece of you, and they are not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with feeling like crap. There's nothing wrong with negative emotions. We just label them that way because of whatever it is that we're trying to be, that we think we have to be. And what we don't realize is having those negative emotions is just as much a part of being a strong human being, of being a leader, of being a deeply spiritual and awakened human being, as the positive, as the silver linings, as all of that. So when we stop beating ourselves up and beating up our negative emotions, we begin to honor them. And when we honor them, one, we get past them faster because, oh gosh, what's this quote that I really, really love? It's stress happens when the mind resists what is. Ooh, I love that quote. I think that's by Dan Millman, I think his name is. He wrote The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. If you haven't read that, incredible, incredible, incredible book, go out and read that. Stress happens when the mind resists what is. So let me give you a rundown of basically what happens for us, right? So what happens is we get a negative emotion and then we're like, oh crap, I'm not supposed to feel like this. I'm supposed to feel like this, right? So we push and we push and we push to get past that negative emotion with whatever it is that we use to get past it, whether it's drinking, meditating, um, just throwing ourselves into our work, whatever it is that we do, because we all have that one thing that we do, or a few things that we do. I do anyway. Um, and then we don't feel them. What happens instead is we add stress because we're pushing and pushing and pushing. When in reality, if we would just let go and say, you know what? I hear you. I honor you. Let's see what we can do to shift this. Do you see how different that is? Do you see how much lighter that is of a load than saying, "Oh, I got to get through this. How can I push through this? How do I get out of this state? How do I change the way that I feel right now?" Have you ever felt like that when you're just like, "Oh, I don't even know what to do with myself. I feel like crap. Like, how do I get past this?" I felt like that. But in reality, it's like you don't just push past it. You say, "Okay," you take a deep breath, you let go, and you say to your emotions, to your innermost self, I hear you. I honor you. You are a part of me. Let's work together instead of splitting myself in two and adding more stress. How about you and I, the negative and the positive, work together to figure out how can we move forward in a way that's going to feel really good, right? And it may be just taking a break. It may be taking some time and just diving into a hobby that you really love, or getting some reading done, or sitting out in nature, or whatever it is. It may be, I don't know, because it's really different for everybody, but what happens when you let go is you allow more space. You allow more space for creative energy. And when you have space for creative energy, you come up with creative solutions that are going to benefit you in a really, really powerful way. We don't get that creative energy, that space, or the lack of stress, which is just freaking awesome, if we're pushing and pushing and pushing. Okay, so lesson of the day: it is okay to feel like crap. Let it be. Let go. Honor it. Don't push it, honor it. It's a part of you. Okay?